Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. I worked at IRS for 10 long years. I've been on the national news many times. I've been on Fox twice, ABC, The Briefing Room, Newsmax, News Nation, all the major CBS, I don't know, all the stations. Anyway, go to my website at 777irs.com. You can learn about me there. We specialize in IRS tax resolution. That's all you need to know. You can look me up on the rest of the stuff. Anyway, as a former IRS agent, I've worked thousands of cases, and I want to tell you one of the big mistakes that people make when they get a letter from IRS and they owe IRS tax debt is that they think they can resolve this by themselves. And as soon as they get a letter, especially the 504, they make a knee-jerk reaction and they call IRS. Sometimes that's good, but most of the times it isn't. And let me explain both. If you just are making it week by week and you have almost nothing in your checking account, you really don't have anything left over, it's okay to go ahead and call IRS. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you owe more sizable debt, and maybe you own a home and stuff like that, and you owe about $50,000-$60,000 and up, and you get that letter, there's a reason that you don't want to call IRS. Really, why anyone doesn't, even though when you don't have a lot of money, it's not going to make a difference. When you call IRS, you don't know what's going to happen to you on the other line. And I want to explain that to you. So I just don't say, well, you better not call them, because in many cases, it is okay to call them. But what happens is this. IRS needs to close their case off their enforcement computer. So how does IRS go ahead and do this? At the service center level, they take a 433F financial statement. It's 2 pages. Download it yourself. Take a look. You can see the questions they're going to ask. A matter of fact, if you're going to do this by yourself, you don't owe a lot of money, take a look at the form. At least you'll know what they're going to ask. But what happens if you have more sizable debt? What you do not know is that the expenses that you take on your you're going to take on your financial statement, which shows you broke at the end of the month. It's not the case with IRS. IRS has what's called a national standard of expenses that they use. So your expenses, I guarantee you, are not going to fit within the strict IRS means. So if you want to look them up yourself, go to IRS National Standards for food and clothing, housing and utilities, for car payments and car expenses. So this is what happens. IRS is filling out their statements. You're giving them your expenses. You don't know this, but IRS is taking out your expenses and putting their national standards in. And at the end of that financial statement, your expenses go out, IRS's expenses go in, and guess what? You got a $2,000 payment agreement just like that. So if you're going to call yourself, at least look at the IRS national standards so you have an idea. But if you owe sizable debt, you're going to get really toasted a lot more than you think. And that's really where you need representation. Before you call IRS, for instance, if you were to call me, I want to look at that statement. I won't call IRS right away. If there's a way we can posture you, get you in a better position with IRS, we may give it a couple weeks and we'll do that. But I just want you to know, if you owe sizable debt, contact a professional of some sort. Don't get stuck with a payment plan that you don't want. You may not think that that's going to happen, but at the end of the day, many people have had bad hair days. Thank you for listening. Give me a subscription if you would. You can share if you know anyone who has IRS debt. I've been doing this a long time. I've worked over 10,000 cases, well over 10,000 cases. I have a whole team of agents. When you call my office, just speak directly to me. You can send me a text or an email. Tell me about your problem. We can go from there. Thank you so much for your ear today. I appreciate the subscription.